to another episode of Film in Minnesota. I'm Alan Tracy.
I'm Rehana Power.
And here we are. Just us. Just us episode.
Yep. Just the two of us. We've got a couple of interesting topics that we're going to kind of touch base on today. One of which is my movie rant or rave. The other I think is going to be more interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Helen's like, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. Right.
Always. But yeah, wanting to kind of kick it off, we can, I can try and make it short this time because I'm so good at that.
I'll try to make it longer this time just to make up for the shortness over there. Yeah.
I like it. So I watched a movie recently. It's a little over a year old since it came out here in the US. I initially had no interest in watching it. I was like, it looks like a horror movie almost, the way that they like marketed it. And like there's some like twisted, messed up stuff happening. And honestly, a lot of the reviews, people just consistently said it is, blatantly, they were like, it's fucked up. They're like, it messed me up. And so I was like, well, I don't want to watch that. Like, if it looks creepy and you're saying it's like unsettling, like upsetting, then yeah, I'm not gonna, I don't want to do that. No. Like I love Florence Pugh, love her, but I was like, no, that's okay. And that kind of gave it away actually just now. So it was Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, what is this film you're talking about?
Don't Worry, Darling. With Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Olivia Wilde, Nick Kroll, Gemma Chan, a load of people. Chris Pine.
Yeah, which Chris, right?
One of the Chris's.
Didn't they do that in Brooklyn Nine-Nine once? Like which Chris?
Yes.
Pine, yeah. Evans, or
Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Pratt,
yep.
There's so many.
But
yeah, so I was like, I love the cast. So I was scrolling through, just home alone. I was scrolling through like all of the apps trying to find something to watch. I'm like in a specific mood, so most things didn't look good. And I came across it and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling more open to it right now than I ever have. So I'm gonna give it a shot. And it was really good. I was very intrigued from the start, not expecting the giant twist that happened. I was like, you obviously know something is going on. I had no idea that what it actually was going to be it though. I didn't expect it. I'm sure some people did. They kind of saw that coming or something similar, but like, I was blown away. It was upsetting. I will admit to that. So basically it's like the 1950s and all these families live in like this little town in California, sort of off in the desert. And it's part of like this little community that is working on like a special project and it's top secret. All the men work there. All this, and it's really important, such a big deal, and blah, blah, blah. The wives all stay home, raise the kids, do the things. They somehow have like the most luxurious lives. They like hang out by the pool and they get bused to go shopping and buy all sorts of stuff. And it's very luxurious. It's suspicious for sure. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. They are banned from going to like headquarters where all their husbands work. That's like the one rule. You can't go out in the desert. You can't go to headquarters. And it gets weird. And then one of the women like shows up to one of the parties or whatever. And she's like saying some shit that's like, shouldn't be here. This is wrong. Like they're keeping us here. Something like that. Yeah. And everybody's like, she's crazy. she went out and she broke the rules and now she's having a mental breakdown. And
She's being called crazy, right?
yeah. Yeah. And eventually Florence Pugh, on her way to like, she's having these weird like flashback kind of things, like, and they're really odd. Like you don't really fully understand what's going on. It's very strange. And eventually she's on the bus by herself. She's like, I don't want to go shopping. I just want to sit on the bus and be alone. So she's on the bus driving out into the desert, back, whatever. And she sees a plane crash off in the distance. And she's like, holy crap. Like, I need to go help these people or something. The bus driver's like, that is not where I go. I will not go there. And he looks freaked out. And she's like, what is happening? So she gets off and she's walking through the desert, dying and whatever. Does not find a plane. She gets to headquarters because she wants to try and get help from someone who's there. No one's there. She touches the windows and all of a sudden she's got like this crazy vision or something happens. And she then understands, like, my friend is not crazy. Something is going on here. Something is not right. Mm-hmm. And so all these things happen. She keeps having visions and whatever. And then she becomes incredibly suspicious and like knows that Chris Pine, who's like the leader of the community of headquarters or whatever, who all the men are like, he's brilliant and blah, and like obsessed with him, who work with them, like he's creepy. He does a good job of being creepy in this movie. I feel like Chris Pine has that in him, which is very intriguing. But yeah, so she suspects him and she tells her best friend, Olivia Wilde, and she's like, she freaks out on her. Like, how could you do that? Can't believe you did that. You sound just like this other girl, like other woman. You're crazy. Stop it. And then like storms out, whatever. The whole thing, her and her husband, Harry Styles, are like madly in love. And then they start fighting. She's like, what do you do for work? Do you even know? Can you even, like, why can't you tell me? Blah. She's becoming suspicious of like everything and everyone. She's like, what in the hell is going on? Why? Like, I need information. And so it keeps going like this. She calls out Chris Pine at this dinner party, blah, 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 after he confronts her in the kitchen. And he's like, I'm sorry that she didn't believe you. Like, I'm intrigued, blah, blah, blah. Basically admits that he's doing something to keep them all there. And he's like, yeah, don't stop trying to like beat me, blah, blah, blah. I've been waiting for someone like you to do this. She's like, you motherfucker. So she, at dinner, she starts calling him out. Like, obviously all these pre-programmed things are happening to these women. She's like, everyone in this community got engaged in either Boston or Seattle. Everyone met in these two situations. Like, everything is the same with all of these couples, and that's not normal. And it's obviously because he's done something to the women, like what is happening, or to the people, because she thinks it is everyone. And then her husband has her like basically committed to like this, like this thing where they do shock therapy on her, and it's a whole thing. It's horrible. And she comes back and she's like, no, I'm good now. I'm okay. I'm fixed, blah, blah, blah. And then she keeps having these visions, ends up having a full vision of what's actually going on. And I was like, again, I did not see it coming. I'm still messed up from it. And this was a couple weeks ago that I saw it, I think, that I watched it. But it shows visions of her and Harry Styles being together in real life. And it is like the 2000s or something. And they live in a little apartment together, and she's a nurse.
Hmm.
He doesn't even have a job, so he's just a bum. And all this stuff. Um, and they're like madly in love, and then all of a sudden she's like picking up double, triple shifts, and he's super needy, and he's like, I just want you to stay home, be with me forever. And she's like, bitch, we have bills to pay and blah blah blah. Like, I have worked 16 or like 30 hours straight. I think at one point she said, I have 4 hours of sleep to get, and then I have to go back for another 16-hour shift. But he's all like mad and sad because she won't like spend time with him.
Hmm.
And you keep seeing him at the computer looking at this weird stuff and whatever. And then it cuts to like, he looks just god awful, like long, stringy, like Gollum like hair, to be honest. And he like comes to the door and knocks on it of it. You take it, her new apartment, or doesn't knock on it, breaks in. That's what it is. She's sleeping, and he like ties her down, puts like this stuff on her, like netting stuff or something, like drips water into her mouth, which is weird. And I don't totally understand that. And then puts like these things on her eyes that start like flashing in front of her, and then gets in bed next to her and does the same thing to himself. Just the eye things. And they're just laying there like dead, basically, with these things like on them. And come to find out that it's men that are doing that to women, to put them in this virtual reality of this little community, blah blah blah, where they think that that's real. They think that they are really this happy, and this is their life, and this is their partner, and these are their children who don't exist. Just all these things. And headquarters is just the way for every single day the men to leave the virtual reality, get back into the real world, do whatever it is they're going to do, because they have to continue paying to be part of this virtual reality, and then come back at the end of the day to join again and be with their families or whatever. And he like did this obviously against her will. They weren't together anymore. She had a life, all this stuff, and he took it all away from her. He stole her life. And so that's the part that like still messes me up. And then it leads to they're fighting, and he's like pleading with her on the floor, and I was like, I love you so much, blah blah blah. She's like, I had a life, like how you took that from me, blah blah blah. He's like, this is your life, we love each other, and all this shit. And he's like squeezing her to the point where he looks like he is going to kill her, trying to keep her there. And she ends up grabbing something and smacking him across the head. She kills him. And then Olivia Wilde breaks in. Somehow she knew that happened. Who knows? Explains like she knew about it all along. She actually chose to be there because it sounds like something happened to her kids. And so in this world, they actually exist. In the real world, they don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But no other woman knows about it. And if someone dies in the VR world, they die in real life. And so she's like, you just killed him, and they will come for you and they will kill you. You have to leave immediately. So she's pushing for it, and she's got blood all over her, and she runs out to the street, and all the women are there, and she's looking at him, and you could tell they suddenly start realizing something. And then the men come out, and they know she did something to him, and they're coming after her, and she like drives away, and there's this whole race to get to headquarters so she can leave, and they're trying to stop her because they're going to kill her. It's a whole thing. And she ends up making it, and then all of a sudden the last thing you see is her like touching the screen again so she can actually leave. And then you hear her take this like terrifying breath because she like wakes up, but that's it, and it goes black. And it was an exceptionally good movie. I will say that. It was very, very good. It was intriguing the entire way through. The performances were amazing. People may have seen that coming. I didn't. I had theories. I was thinking it was more of like a WandaVision kind of situation.
Yeah.
something like that. Like it was very like Stepford Wivesy, but there was something, but I couldn't quite tell what. Certainly never thought that was going to be it, or that it was the men doing this to the women specifically. I thought it was everyone was under the same spell of whatever it was. And the fact that it was the men doing it to the women, and the fact that it was like, it's against their will. They have no idea. They have no way out. It's the 1950s. So obviously they're wanting it to be like, you're here to serve me and do whatever I want and need. You listen to me, and you are here because I love you and I want you to be right here waiting for me. And the fact that he did it, like, it's against her will, and you see him doing this and you're like, how fucking dare you? It's infuriating. It's still literally on my way home from work today. I was thinking about it and I was like, God, that messed me up. I was like, how, what? God, I was so mad. So it was not scary the way I thought, but it was infuriating.
Yeah. So it had an effect on you.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I think is the point. I think it was supposed to in that way, which is good, but
to what extent? In a rant or ravey sort of way. So
that's a good question. So I think a rave, because I do think the movie itself was excellent. I think that it was executed well. Florence Pugh was phenomenal in her role. Honestly, everyone did really, really well, but she's amazing. I love her. The concept was brilliant. The twist was brilliant, albeit extremely upsetting, but it's supposed to be. I think it is supposed to cause a reaction in us. If it doesn't, I think that is very telling. And so it achieves its objective for sure. And I think it's prevalent in society when you take a step back and look at the theme of it and everything. But yeah, so the concept of what happened is a rant. It's just all of the rage and anger and frustration and whatever about misogyny and sexism and domestic violence and all of these things, abuse, whatever. But
yeah, I did like the cinematography and like the contrast between reality and then the fictional world, basically.
Yeah,
because it kind of reminded me of our own reality in some ways, where we look at our bright, shiny phones with all the color saturation, and it looks beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And then when they show the real world, it's like kind of dark and dim and more desaturated look, and it's a stark contrast. So there's a lot of interesting things to be said about that, whether it be from technology in some way, or just like you were saying, the quote good old days, right? For men.
Yep.
And then as a way to like capture their masculinity again or something in some sense. And have
control. When today they don't have the type of control that they want.
Right.
Yeah.
It's becoming more balanced to the point where, like, as you mentioned, he didn't have a job. She did. She was the breadwinner. So
and he wanted her there all the time. And she's like, I have to work. I have to do these things, and I enjoy my job. And that was too much for him.
Yeah, and that's so strange, because then doesn't he have to have a job to do the sit at home all day thing?
That was something that I didn't understand. Yeah. Because he's like, I have to go out and make money so that I can keep us here. And I'm like, Why didn't you
Unless,
just get a job to begin with?
yeah, unless they're doing something in the virtual thing that allows them to make money. I don't know.
Maybe,
Um,
maybe that's the thing is he works for that company now.
or they recruit other people to come into it. Maybe that's it. One of those
That might
pyramid type
be.
things, you know?
Yeah. Or he has to like promote it or something. Yeah, that's a good point. And if
I,
you work for them, then you get to live there.
I
I
just
don't know.
watched the full Brooklyn Nine-Nine series, so I was just kind of like
Yeah.
thinking about Boyle's whole multi-level marketing schemes and
Yes.
anyways, but it's like maybe it's like that. Maybe it's as easy as that. All you have to do is
It,
get someone else to sign up.
right. I mean, there is a new couple that shows up at one point.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah. So it was good. There was a lot of controversy that like went along with the film. Like Shia LaBeouf was tied to it at first, and then there was controversy about like, did he get fired? Did he quit? Why? Was it because of Olivia Wilde? Was it because of Florence Pugh? All this stuff. And whatever. And then there was controversy about the way that Olivia Wilde was going about directing and really aggressive and big about it. But she pointed out a lot of things, saying like, if this was a man, like if I was a Zack Snyder or a Christopher Nolan or whoever, like we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I don't know how they are on set. I don't know if they get that way. I mean, projects can be intense, and I'm sure everyone can get that way at some point. But yeah, so which I think I would understand. Like I believe that if it were a man, that wouldn't even be a topic. Like no one would have said anything. Um,
Oh
but
boy.
I
Speaking of
also,
which, in the film.
yeah. Speaking of which, but then there was also the whole situation where, um, you know, Olivia Wilde at the time was married to Jason Sudeikis, or not married, but they were very longtime partners, whatever. They split. She was dating Harry Styles during filming. There was a lot of talk and speculation that they had an affair while they were on set before she split with them. And all of these things. Wait, were they divorced? And that's why it doesn't matter. The point is they were together. All of a sudden they weren't. And she was in the middle of dating Harry
Yeah.
Styles, but they were in the middle of filming. And her and Florence Pugh had a big like falling out type of thing where,
Oh, they did?
like at the beginning, right before filming, Florence Pugh had like been saying that she was super excited to film it and work with Olivia Wilde. She was her idol, all of that. And then by the end of filming, like to promote the movie, like Florence didn't promote it. Like she didn't post about it on her Instagram, didn't do anything like that, where she, for like Oppenheimer and stuff, she was doing that. And for other movies. So like she was just she was like, nah, yeah. There was a lot of, I think, tension between those two. So I mean, there was a lot of controversy just overall that happened with it,
right around the
from
film
start
itself.
to finish.
Yeah.
But
and then the film looks like a lot of reviews were mainly about like it was well crafted and put together. Yeah. However, and it did build, like you said, intrigue, but it didn't have the payoff to it, which I can kind of see. But I mean, the ending kind of works also. But
yeah,
is that also maybe why Florence Pugh didn't like? I have no idea. So
yeah, I will say I wanted more. Like I wanted to see her come out of it and see what happened then. But I mean, that also, I think, speaks to how intriguing the film is that you want that. And there are a lot of films out there that will end at that kind of moment and be like, whatever you think happens. Like you get to craft the story or whatever at that point. And try to keep it like go out on a high. And I hate it when they do that because I want more, but I understand it. keeps the intrigue going. Yeah. And I mean, they made a lot of money. Like I think total worldwide, it made almost 88 million. And
it's made for 20 million, I think.
35 was the budget.
Oh, 35. Okay.
Yeah. So not bad. But yeah.
That's good.
So overall, I say 2 thumbs up. It was good. Very upsetting, very unsettling. I'm still upset about it. I probably will be forever. It's always just gonna pop into my head randomly, and I'm like, God damn it. But other than that,
are you in a simulation right now, Rehana?
I probably no. If I was, there's no way that everything would be this ridiculous.
Are you in the Matrix? Are you sure? Because if you die here, you die in the real world.
That's true. That's what it is. It's the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's just the opposite because the real. Yeah. No. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Same concept. Yep.
Same concept. But so that's my
okay.
rant rave.
Out of 10 stars, what do you give it?
Honestly, I'd probably give it like a 9. I was really impressed with it overall.
Yeah.
With so much of it, there was not a moment where I was like bored or I was like, it's fine, I'll finish it. Like I was all in the whole way, and every aspect of what happened, I thought they did really, really well. So
yeah, I liked it a lot. I think it was just a lot of the editing, a lot of the obviously production work that went into it made it look stunning too. So I would give it 8 out of 10, maybe 7 or 8.
Nice.
So decent score. Good.
Yeah.
I just wonder what happened. I'm so curious, It's
right.
like it's going to be one of those Mad Max Fury Road books, like where it's
exactly.
Like this is what happened. It's like
yeah, the screenwriter definitely needs to do a follow-up somehow. Alice's story of some sort. Like she goes and wakes up all the women. She finds all the women, wakes them up. They murder all the husbands and are like vigilantes at that point or something like that. I don't know. I was going to say
I think Rehana has the sequel ready to go.
Let's go.
She can join the writers with their fancy new AI tools they can use. So,
I mean, yeah, maybe that's part of the next one is the women use AI to get them in, and put them in a terrible situation. But, yeah.
You mean reality? No, I'm just kidding.
Right? Yeah. You guys are stuck in a room together in reality.
And you have to talk.
But yeah, speaking of AI, I mean, that's a pretty prevalent thing going on right now. And
is it?
In the world of
I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? I don't think anyone went over strike over it, did they?
No, definitely
it's 2024. I think we're over that.
It's not popping up anywhere. Left and right. It definitely doesn't creep me out at all.
No, why should it?
Right.
So yeah, obviously the next topic is AI. It's like
Alan, what does AI stand for?
Yeah, is this it's like, what does IT stand for? Have you seen the IT? Well, you haven't seen the IT crowd, but Jen has asked, what does IT stand for? And she doesn't know. And she's just like, I have to go wee-wee. It's like, call Roy and find out what that means. What does AI stand for? Well, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Or Acme Incorporated.
Either way, we should discuss.
I never got why Acme, but I guess it's close. It's like towards the top of the alphabet in the phone book is what it used to be or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so AI is kind of a big deal. Especially when it comes to like how the men in studios want to use it against us.
The men in studios, huh?
I'm telling you, man.
Well, a woman's running, I think, well, anyways. There's some women up there. Not a lot, but, some.
No, I have thoughts on that, too.
Anyways.
On them
we'll get around to researching that with more information as opposed to just...
Yeah.
spitballing. But yes, artificial intelligence. Good or bad? Go. No.
Creepy.
It's not all bad. There is...
Honestly, the deep fake thing, creepy as hell and freaks me out.
Yeah, that's been here for a while.
I know, but it's getting like more and more real and it freaks me out. Like, how do you know if anything is real? How do you know if a picture is real? How do you know if a video is real? You don't know. You don't know. If someone is good at what they do, you don't, like, if I do it, like, okay. But like, if somebody who's like good and knows what they're doing, you have no idea.
It has to be, does it have to be more flawed or amateurish to make it seem real? Or does it have to be like, anyways, well, I was thinking about that after seeing a film recently, and it was just kind of like, this was a low budget film, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas like a high budget film like Don't Worry Darling, you can tell there's a lot of work into that. And then but AI, it seems could go either way.
Yeah. And honestly, this is music related, kind of, not film related, but like, okay, so Spotify now, a little while ago, went on there and it was like, they have a DJ option. You're like, what's that? You click on it. All of a sudden it's like, hey, Alan, what's up? Thanks for letting me be your DJ. It calls you out by your name. I mean, it called Jer out by his name. It didn't call me out by his name because he was like, I can't pronounce that because he knows because he's real.
Didn't call Tim Cook and say correct series pronunciation of Barbara Streisand or something.
Exactly. But yeah, and it's like, hey, based on what you listened to 6 years ago in May, I think that you would like blank, blank, and blank. And then it just like, it tracks everything that you've ever done on Spotify and comes up with like it's the creepiest thing. And he talks to you. You're like, just why? Just why? Like, make me a playlist and I can just listen to that. Don't have your creepy AI DJ talk to me and not say my name just like a normal person, where they just look at it and go, coffee? And I'm like, oh, that's me. I saw your face looking at the name. I know it's mine. Like, don't do that. And now they want to use AI in film and get rid of actors, get rid of everything. They just want to. So anyway, sorry, I'm going off. Go ahead. You asked me what I thought, and this is what you get.
Yeah, this is what I get.
You should know better by now.
I like how you went like coffee. It's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, when you go to like Starbucks or what
does that have to do with AI?
Well, it has to do with AI because when I go to Starbucks or Caribou and I order a drink, they're like, "What's your name?" And I tell them how to spell it, everything. They put the sticker on the cup. The people make the coffee, and then when they put out the coffee for you to pick up on the counter or whatever, they'll usually say like, decaf, blah, blah, blah for Alan, for Tom, like whatever. But whenever they put my coffee out, they'll just go, blank, blank, blank for coffee. And they'll just set it on the counter. Like, they look at the tag, they look at my name for a good 10 seconds and make the conscious decision not to try and say my name. And that's what the AI DJ did. And that's how I know he's alive. See, it's creepy. Because like Siri would try and say my name, and she would just pronounce it wrong. Like, that's the level of AI she is, or Alexa. But this creepy AI DJ is so real that he makes that same decision. He's like, "Ooh, I see your name. Hard pass." AI is that real now. That was it was a big jump. It made sense in my head. I realized it's a podcast. I apologize for the lack of context. That's how that happens.
That's interesting. But no, that's good. That's good to know how your mind works. I kind of got ADHD, it. I was like, okay, so she's talking about pronunciation of her name. And then I guess the DJ didn't say your name.
Yeah.
Even though you spelt it out for it?
Well, I mean, it's on my account.
Oh,
Like
but it just avoided talking about your name?
Yeah, like okay, so if you went to it right now, like it did this for Jer. He clicked on the button for the DJ and it went like, I don't remember exactly what it said, like welcome something or hey, just like, hey, Jeremiah, thanks for joining me. Like it knew that it was him. It said his name. When I did it, it was like, hey there, thanks for joining me. Like, okay, bitch. What is happening?
Have you ever interacted with it before?
No, it creeps me out, man.
Oh, okay.
Also, it was like based on your music preferences, I'm gonna play like it's like I think you'll like blank. It's like I think you'll like some Kentucky hip hop. Who do you think that are you judging me based on my name? Like are you being like what's happening?
So AI has some presumptions, it sounds like, based on what you listen to.
Which is dumb because I listened to Taylor Spotify Wrapped. I was the 1% of Taylor Swift listens this year. Why are you telling me Kentucky hip hop? So AI is broken, but it's real. I think is my point.
Okay. Broken. Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
The ADHD is real right now, so if you want to take over and go back to the point.
No, I'm very fascinated about the pronunciation of your name because we know several guests have tried here and failed. Yeah. But you let it fly.
Trying. Yeah, absolutely. If people try,
they're not robots.
Right. It's when I work with people or for like years.
They're original intelligence, not artificial.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or like I have family members that can't say it. I'm like, I just stop, man. One family member back when I was younger was like, I'm just going to call you Ronnie. I was like, where did you get that from? Ronnie? What? No.
Yeah, but nah.
Right? I got some weird nicknames, but come on, man.
Ronnie, huh?
They might as well be AI.
Yeah. Sounds like it. That's a good name to have for AI. It sounds like you've solved your problem. Because it'll never be able to catch you or say your name.
Oh, there we go. Incognito. Hi, I'm Ronnie.
So, I mean, there are, when it comes to AI, aside from name pronunciations, perhaps, there are some advantages, like for writers, like there are writing prompts, things to help you maybe get over the writer's block, as they say. So there are tools. It should be viewed as a tool in that sense, in terms of like certain applications.
Yeah, but not a replacement.
Right.
Which was a big sticking point, an issue.
Well, it's interesting because we look at like, because there are things like Final Draft that doesn't have at the time of this recording didn't have a AI component. Who knows if Final Draft 13 would? Lucky number 13.
Right.
Let's go AI, huh? But yeah, if writing software added an AI component, like every other app on the planet right now is like investing into AI. Yeah. And not the metaverse for some reason. I wonder why that is. But remember when they were buying like property on the metaverse? You know, the world.
Honestly, the metaverse was so over my head. People started saying metaverse, and I was like, I'm gonna go over here and let y'all just have a conversation. Yeah. So I don't know anything about the metaverse.
I think the point of metaverse was to make it like Earth, but in Facebook land, basically, and you own property on metaverse's world of our world, so to speak.
That's weird. So it's The Sims? Like what is
it's like Second Life.
Yeah. It's like Dwight. In The Office when Dwight has Second Life. Yes.
Yep.
And
it's
then
like that.
And then that Dwight has Second Life.
That's how I understood it. Only you didn't have like a like legs, or you just had like a torso or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird.
Why do people have to get weird with technology? Like, can't we get universal health care? Like, put like your genius to good. Oh my gosh.
That's
Anyway,
not where the
sorry.
money is. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, back to AI. So it can be used as a tool. Same with things like
Yes.
in Adobe's. I haven't used it yet, but I've seen videos on YouTube of people editing using AI, and it's
Hmm.
very streamlined to speed up editing
Which
or
could be
fix
helpful. It's
little
just that
things. Yeah.
that
So
can be
like if
tedious.
you
Yeah.
film somewhere and you just wanted like I wanted like the reflection of the water here to look a certain way, or the sky to be this color or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah.
Those are things that could be applied. So,
Yeah.
but then we get into like where it starts to replace writers, replace actors, and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
Which is just the dumbest idea any studio could come up with. It really is for a multitude of reasons, but
Well, right now they're basically doing something like that, but not that.
yeah.
Like for a crowd, creating a crowd, you would just generate like a fake crowd,
Yes. Or like you have 10
and it
people,
wouldn't look
but
real.
make that 500 people or a
Right.
thousand people.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, or some I've seen like yeah, there were software that generated like a overview of like a ton of people in a crowd or something.
Yeah. Or isn't that like, didn't they
Like
use
Game of
something like that
Thrones or
with
something.
Game of Thrones or like 300? Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all the
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So or yeah, in Game of Thrones it was like all the ships. So there were like actually four ships, but in reality or in the
Yeah.
show you're looking at like 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So CG created
Yeah,
characters and
which
objects.
totally understandable and okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um but when it comes to the concept of like, we don't want to pay background actors. Or like any background actors, or we don't
They
want to pay extras, or we don't want to pay our stars.
they don't want to pay as much to use them like for one day of getting scanned, for instance, like a scan of yourself. And I don't know the complete at this time of this recording again. I will know
Right,
by
yeah.
the time it comes out. But as far as I saw it, I think they didn't get the win on that of
But I
being
also
because the reason behind it was that they'll just find someone else who will. If you don't want to
right.
do that, you don't have to. But
Yeah.
if
But
you're
it just
background,
yeah.
and
But like
I know background work is like kind of its own cottage industry. People get can live in like LA or New York, survive on at least getting
yeah.
some background gigs between larger roles.
Hmm.
It just helps, so
Well, and that's how so many actors get started.
mm-hmm.
And like doing things like that to see like, okay, be on set, get the experience, see how
Yeah,
everything works, and then have things to put on their resume and then
right.
become like a featured extra and be able to put those things on. But if they're eliminating those roles, those opportunities, and then it's knowing like so many actors that like seeing them on the picket line, the front line or whatever, and like their uh I was gonna say speeches, not speeches, but like them speaking to news or to whoever about it, like it's not going to end with just background actors. Like it's in the contract for everyone, for actors at every level. So at some point, it's going to be all extras and all featured extras. It's going to be, it's eventually going to be to the point of we do not need any actors anymore. We have as much facial body scan recognition, whatever, in the system for Leo DiCaprio. We have all of this data about how he has done every role. We don't need him. We can have AI Leo do this movie. And so we don't have to pay him millions and millions and millions of dollars, which I get. But also, it doesn't replace a human being. And so it essentially says, like, actors today that exist, like the big actors, like you're fine for now. Like you're fine because you're why people go to the movies. But anyone trying to get into the business, good luck. It's not going to happen. Like you're going to get one role, get your face scanned, and you're done. Like you're not going to have more opportunities. So, it's just going to go up the line. So basically, anyone who's trying to make an actual living doing that, there aren't going to be big actors anymore, like coming up, because they're not going to be needed because they have AI. And there are so many actors that live just off of, like you were saying, just off of those roles, those experiences, right. and it barely get paid anything, and it's paycheck to paycheck and all this stuff, and it's not okay.
Right. Yeah, so there are obviously good applications for AI. It's something that we're going to have to figure out how to live with now. Because obviously they're not going to just let this thing die that they've presumably put a lot of money into already.
Yeah.
As you know, and now with all the streaming wars going on, it's just kind of like, it's just like, where do you string? You could probably string together enough free trials throughout the entire year just to touch all apps, you know?
You just have to keep making new email addresses. That's all you got to do.
Have AI help you with that.
Exactly. There you go.
So yeah, that's life hack number 1. Use AI.
Yes.
But yeah, so there are obviously some good things that came out of the strike, obviously increase in salaries and things of that nature, as well as protections for writers. Let's see. So WJA agreement established that AI cannot be used to undermine a writer's credit or be used as means to reduce a writer's compensation. Contract does, however, leave room for the studios to train AI using pre-existing material. What does that mean? I wonder what that means. I'm just waiting for it. Waiting for the first AI film to be, written or, whatever it is.
They had the first AI commercial.
Oh, do they? Right.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
I don't remember what it was.
Was it like complete? Oh, yeah. It was like
the one with the lady. Woman,
and yeah.
And like you couldn't tell that it was AI until like somebody calls it out and you're just like, shit.
Yeah, and it was
they could do it for so long and no one would even know. This is infuriating.
So it was an Asian commercial, I remember. I can't remember which country.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. That's right. I did hear about that one. But yeah, that's where you're worried about the deep fake, huh?
Yeah. Also, it's creepy. On top of the fact that I think that it is unethical to do that in that context. It's creepy. AI is creepy.
But it was like, who watches ads? It's like, I'm thinking like, it's bathroom time when the ads come on. It's just like, do something else, get a drink, do something. I don't know.
That is a good point.
But you're right. I think we will see a lot more of those in the new year here. And especially with all the streamers having ad service support.
Yes.
It's a way for them to generate revenue. But then how do advertisers make their money back? By cutting those budgets too with AI.
Yeah.
Or of some kind.
Yep.
I don't know. So. Yeah. But I like, there were a few people who may have said this, but I know, was it Joseph Levitt Gordon, right?
JGL?
Yeah. Who said that your image should make money for you? Like if they are to use your AI, that's your property and you should be able to make money off of that, your likeness.
Yes, I agree. But it also represents you. Like, okay, those are two different thoughts. I completely agree. They should still be paid for that because they are using their likeness. People do not necessarily know that is not them. It's still them. to everyone else. So absolutely. On the flip side of that, I also feel like it would be uncomfortable because that represents you, because again, people don't know that that's not you. Even when they find out that it's not you, AI is not going to have the same emotional oh my god, the word's escaping me. They're not going to be able to like show and represent the emotion in the tiny moments and do everything, like react in a new surprising way each time and have like that full range the way that an actual human being, a seasoned actor can. Like it just can't. Like it can do a ton, but it's still not a real human being with all of that person's lived experiences, with all of their knowledge and training and understanding and research and preparation. It's not that. It's still a programmed thing. And so it also, because it represents them, like if you see JGL in a movie and it's AI, yes, he should be paid for it. But also if the AI, if you're like, God, this is awful, JGL's not good all of a sudden, what is happening? Like that has a negative effect on him. And that is also like, that can ruin like actors' reputations.
Yep.
And same with writers.
And voiceover actors.
And yes, all of it. Yep. So that's huge.
Yeah, so there's still much to be hashed out, I suppose. Yeah. I think there will come a point where it'll be hard to well, it already is hard in some scenarios to differentiate real from fake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to compare and contrast when those things arise, because like someone has to reveal that it is that indeed. So, and I think about things like when it comes to voiceover, like Darth Vader, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very recognizable voice, but he's in every Star Wars like film that Vader appears in, or game, or someone is doing that, or something. So
yeah,
it's like, how do you get him to say other things if he's not here?
Right.
So
yeah.
I
don't know.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. It's concerning. I don't like it.
It should be used in more productive ways, like get rid of all these junk email I haven't read in like 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, the spam. Can we get rid of the spam?
Yeah. All the extra cookies that are being left around that are like, oh, wait, clean those up. We don't want whoever.
Yeah.
You know, there could be better applications for it than just, we're just going to copy everything you already do, you know, on Instagram.
There could be like incredibly helpful, like humanitarian ways of using AI to help people. I don't know what they are because I'm not that smart, but the people who use AI and create AI and do the things should know. And so it's upsetting that, we use it. It's upsetting, but it's not surprising because it's sort of what happens with the world. Yeah. It's just like politics. Like politicians will be like, hey, we have this new awesome thing that we're going to give you guys. We're like, can we get universal health care? Like, can we get this? And they're like, no, but here's a law that has nothing to do with you. And it doesn't it help you in any way. You're welcome. Like, it's stuff like that. There we go. Maybe AI should replace the government. Like, let's have a president and AI and just be done with it. And
you can do a don't worry, darling, where you're just, living out your fantasy in your little goggles life there.
Exactly.
And you don't have to worry about reality then. So
yes. Can we do that? My gosh.
Who wants to get plugged into the Matrix? Let's go. Universal healthcare for you folks.
I'm all in. Let's do it.
Well, that's our show. The world is the Matrix now.
Yes, I
We're
think we've
headed
learned
towards
that.
the Matrix.
That's the theme of this episode is the world is the Matrix. Welcome to the Matrix.
Don't worry, darling.
Yes. But you asked me about the movie, so I'm going to ask you about AI. Scale of 1 to 10. Are you 1 being, you're me, you're terrified and it's creepy and you don't like it and it's going to go in a bad place and you're like, no, go away. Or 10 being like, this is the best thing ever. So excited. Yeah.
Probably the same rating, like 7 or 8 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Which direction you see that in is up to you.
I just said.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of like when the internet first came around, when the smartphones first came around.
Yeah.
It's like, it's going to replace things. It's like, yes, it did. It killed so many things. Mail, it's email, and
pagers.
Yeah. No one calls anyone anymore. So is anyone worried about their minutes? No, they're worried about their data. It's like,
right.
Now it's like, how many AI integers can you add in?
Yeah. Yes. Do you remember minutes? Oh my gosh.
Minutes, texts.
Yep. I have unlimited minutes after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And on weekends.
On weekends.
Yeah. But then
when
your parents
I call
be like,
people.
Yeah. Like, no using your phone after 9 p.m. And you're like, that's the only time I have minutes. What is happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Or you have like, I think it was like 500 or 600 text messages. And I'm like, how many do I have?
Right.
Try to send one big bubble at a time. It's like,
yes. Roaming. Everything was more expensive than roaming.
Roaming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've come a long way. I feel like AI just freaks me out because it's just a whole other level. But I'm sure you're right. That's probably
people freaked out about 5G too. I mean,
okay, that was dumb. 5G, 4G, 3G. It's just like,
and then they killed 3G. It was like, oh well,
yeah.
There went that. So much for slow data.
Right.
The airplanes. It's mainly the airports, right?
Honestly, okay. Fun fact. You don't they tell you to put your phone on airplane mode when you're in the sky. You don't have to. Like, I don't actually know why they tell you to do that. It doesn't. It's fine.
It's going to jam the radio frequencies. That's what they're worried about.
But you don't have service.
Yeah.
There's no service to be had. You aren't going to jam anything.
Yeah.
You don't
once you get up into the sky,
the
there's no like Jetsons thing unless it's like that thing from Kingsman where it's like streaming down from the satellite.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jetsons. If that's not next, there we go. Why are we creating AI and not building the Jetsons? Why are we not creating highways in the sky?
We will when it's necessary, like when the pollution rises to a level that we all live at, we have to start building up.
Honestly, the people who make the decisions to do that are never going to admit that pollution even exists. So I don't know about that. I just want to be like Judy Jetson and cruise around in my cool little like space air sky car, whatever. Yeah. That'd be dope.
Yeah, and work at the factory.
Yeah.
Making widgets.
Yes.
And they're so big, Yeah. This is for the new iPhone. No.
Here's George Jetson. Yeah. But okay, so you give it a 7-8. You have hope. You don't think iRobot is gonna happen or any of that. You're like, no, this is good.
Well, I think like everything, there's going to be some drawbacks and some bad apples in the crate. So
yeah,
it's just human nature too, I think.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there are some good things. Like hopefully it'll do things for us that won't be like so tasking. Like don't say.
Yeah.
the prompts for Apple's thing or for Amazon's AI. It's already been here. So
yeah, but that also just turns on itself on its own.
Yeah, but you can
It'll
turn
like
it
all
off
of a sudden just go like
also.
bing and listen to you, and you're like, no one is talking to you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Stop it. That's enough. Drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
It has a mind of its own, and it's kind of rude, and I don't appreciate it. I think it's the point.
Yeah. You can turn it off though too. So
yeah, that's a good point. Just let the battery die.
No, I mean you can actually go into settings and turn it off.
You can turn it off. I know. I know.
So I think it'll be one of those options sort of thing. Like, so if the next smartphone has something like that for whatever you need it to use it for.
Yeah.
Or it enhances what they already have.
Yeah, who knows? It's going to be like a $3,000 phone, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully get paid more to buy new phones.
Hopefully get paid more to pay for some student loans. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the student loans.
Jeez.
Apple Vision, though, that's the new "Don't Worry, Darling" goggles. So
wait, what?
I think it's called Apple Vision something. I forget what it's called.
It's just a VR thing?
Yeah, January 2024 is when it was projected for here, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to research that.
Yeah, take a look. They did a demo, I think, over WWDC, I think it was in June.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting. Freaking Apple, man.
But hey, AI's here, and I don't think it's leaving anytime soon. So
yeah, no.
I think it's like the voice prompts.
Yes. We're stuck with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes in a good direction. But all right. Well, thank you for listening to all that did. We appreciate you. And have a great day, week, month, life. Just know you are in the Matrix. It's okay.
What is this, your farewell speech? I mean,
I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice.
Oh.
I was really gloomy in this episode.
Oh.
Like, this movie freaked me out and it messed me up, and then AI is gonna kill us. And so I'm trying to be like, hey guys, I'm still like a happy person. So have a good whatever. Fine. Okay, Alan wants me to be mean. So everybody have a terrible day.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. But yeah, you live in the Matrix, and we hope to have you listen again soon. This has been Film in Minnesota.
Yeah, we'll have to talk more.